Today, we talk about that sweet, juicy justice, and also the Justice League. Some very minor spoilers for the DCEU and the DC Comics animated cartoons do lie ahead. In 1960's The Brave and the Bold number 28, the world was first introduced to the Justice League. That team included Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Green Lantern, Aquaman, and the Martian Manhunter. In contrast to the comic industry's love of a good origin story, writer Gardner introduced the League as if they'd already been together for quite some time. However, this was not the first superhero team. It wasn't even the first team from DC Comics. 20 years earlier, in 1940's All-Star Comics number 3, Sheldon and Gardner created the Justice Society of America. Much like the Avengers, the Justice League has been in print for more than 50 years. However, if we include the JSA, DC's team has actually been in print for nearly 70 years. It would have been 80 years, but the JSA met its end after 1951's All-Star Comics issue number 57. It didn't return until the Silver Age of Comics almost a decade later. DC reworked All-Star Comics into All-Star Western, which no longer featured any superheroes at all. The JSA's original starting lineup consisted of Dr. Fate, Auram, the Spectre, the Sandman, the Atom, the Flash, Green Lantern, and Hawkman. The first JSA story began with the team's first meeting. Each member told a story about one of their adventures rather than the team going on an adventure together. As a matter of fact, this was actually the very first superhero crossover. All-American Publications, rather than DC Comics, published the Atom, the Flash, Green Lantern, and Hawkman at the time. Superman and Batman were established as honorary members. Basically, the rule was that heroes who had their own comic titles could only be honorary members. They simply did not need this type of exposure. DC Comics replaced The Flash with Johnny Thunder after issue number 6 due to this same rule. However, honorary member Wonder Woman was allowed to appear in the JSA starting in All-Star Comics number 8 despite having her own title. However, she was the team's secretary, so yeah. It was the 1940s, all right. To me, the most interesting thing I found while researching the JSA was that in 1942, they changed their name to the Justice Battalion for a bit, acting as an extension of the armed forces of the United States of America during World War II. Returning to the 1960s, when DC Comics decided to modernize the JSA, they changed the name due to the popularity of Major League Baseball and the National Football League. I guess leagues were all the rage at the time. The popularity of the Justice League eventually led to the team being given its own comic series in 1960 called the Justice League of America. The original Justice League ended up having 19 members all told, with 26 members in Justice League International. Note that not all of these members were present at the same time. If we include honorary members, Justice League International, Justice League United, and a ton of others, every single hero who's ever had any association with any version of the Justice League brings us to more than 170 individuals, removing any duplicates. Of course, and this is true for our Avengers video as well, these are only estimations. It's very easy to eliminate too many heroes when removing duplicates from the list because of the sheer number of heroes who take on a name previously used by another. And don't get me started on heroes who take on multiple names over the course of their careers. I just wanted to take a moment to remind you, if you enjoy the video, then once it's over, please click the thumbs up button and share it on Twitter. It really does help me out, and I appreciate your support. Now back to our regularly scheduled video. The 2007 Justice League movie took place some months after the events of Batman v Superman. Bruce Wayne and Diana Prince are trying to assemble a team of metahumans to take on Steppenwolf and his army of parademons, who are apparently on an RPG side quest for the 3 mother boxes left on Earth. Oddly, DC Comics never calls their interconnected cinematic universe the DCEU. Warner Brothers and DC executives apparently have no internal term for their collection of interconnected movies. In fact, it was writer Keith, yeah, I can't say that name, I'm going to put it on screen, this guy. He coined the phrase in Entertainment Weekly. He wrote an article entitled First Look at Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice in July of 2015, where he used the term as a bit of a cynical joke. Quote, "It was my own phrasing when I used it in the story. It just seemed like the kind of thing they'd call it." Henry Cavill has expressed his own doubts about the DCEU when speaking about the negative critical response to Man of Steel and Batman v Superman. The actor stated, quote, "Even if Marvel didn't exist, we'd struggle. There was a style they were going for, an attempt to be different and look at things from a slightly different perspective, which hasn't necessarily worked." Joss Whedon took over as the director of Justice League from Zack Snyder following the tragic death of Snyder's daughter. In a somewhat controversial move, Whedon replaced musician Junkie XL with Danny Elfman. Elfman did have more experience, providing the soundtrack for Hulk, Avengers, Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movies, and Tim Burton's Batman movies, among others. As a result, Elfman's 1989 Batman theme was used in some Justice League scenes featuring the Caped Crusader. Turning our attention back to the comics, DC actually inspired the creation of both the Fantastic Four and the Avengers. Both were created after the success of the Justice League in the 1960s. Publisher Martin Goodman saw the success DC was having with their superhero team and gave comic book legend Stan Lee the job of creating a team for Marvel. As a result, Stan the Man developed the Fantastic Four, and unlike the Justice League, these heroes didn't always get along. Due to the success of 1992's Batman the Animated Series and then Superman the Animated Series in 1996, DC turned its eye toward a Justice League cartoon. Bruce Timm, co-creator of the previously mentioned Batman series, was tasked with bringing the project to life. Timm replaced Aquaman with Hawkgirl in his lineup of founding Justice League members. The series ran for 2 seasons starting in 2001 before it was retooled into Justice League Unlimited. Unlimited then ran for another 3 seasons and included a wide array of DC characters. This video was requested by the Father of Lies, who, if his name is to be believed, didn't actually want to see it. So drop down to the comments section below and let me know, what other subjects should we cover in this series? Leave your suggestions in the comments section below. As always, please don't forget to ring the bell so that you get notified when we release a new video, and share this video on Twitter, Facebook, or Reddit. I actually want to stress this point in particular. We really need the videos to be shared around more, so pretty please? Until next time, guys, be kind to each other. I'm Jay Parks.